I thought I knew why I came here. I saw it. The end. It was so vivid. But now the truth feels further away than ever. I still have so many questions.
You said you were going out, but I heard you through the wall. I said don't go far. You had me searching for a reason, but I was in the dark.
We can't let Trinity get hold of this.
Let's think this through.
Do you realize the tragedy you have unleashed? The cleansing has begun. It falls to me now to stop it before it consumes us all.
What have I done?
What a shame you can't hear me. I speak louder. Thought you could keep me in reserve.
I know that it's not practical.
While you made up your mind.
I know that it's hard to believe.
Could I hold myself back? Well, you fed me a fable, but I know the taste of life.
You don't know that you caused all this, Lara!
You need to trust me.
We have to trust each other.
I speak louder.
He wants to alter the course of humanity. If you had that power, what would you do?
Hello everyone, my name is Megan Marie and I'm the Senior Community Manager at Crystal Dynamics, and we are here at E3 2018 in the Square Enix booth for Square Enix Presents, and I have two very, very special guests with me today. I have Camilla Luddington and Earl Baylon, the voice and motion capture performance actors for Lara and Jonah. Say hi.
Hi! How's it going, everyone?
Hi. It's so wonderful to have them here. We just went out to the booth and said hello to people in line. We even tapped a couple people on the shoulder that were playing, and we're like,
Excuse me, I'm Lara Croft.
I'm Lara, would you like to
Why
say
are
hi?
you bothering me?
A couple of them were like so engrossed in the game that they had to do like a
Yeah,
a
they're
double
like,
take
yeah,
almost. But
I'm busy.
That's not a bad thing. It's
Like,
not a
you
bad
should
thing that they
go
like the game.
It's exactly what we want.
Yes, exactly.
It's all part of
So it's been great having you guys here to interact with the fans. We have a whole bunch of our fan sites outside from around the world, and they're watching. You guys can't see them waving, but they're here.
Yes.
All right, so today we are going to have a Q&A with Camilla and Earl, and then we are going to do what I think is hilarious and I'm so excited for, is a survival themed Would You Rather.
I'm so
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I had a lot of fun thinking these up. But first, before we get into the Q&A from fans on Twitter, I want to play a motion capture clip to kind of show how you guys interact in the volume and how the process is of bringing these characters to life. So do you want to set up the scene a little bit?
Is it the scene on the roof?
Yeah, no, it's the table one. So the
Okay.
pink fish.
So, pink fish.
Pink fish.
So this is Lara and Jonah having a couple of beers.
This is in Cozumel, right?
Yes. Very beginning of the game. And Lara is trying to figure out where to go next, and she's using astrology as a way to find that out. And she's explaining some things to Jonah that she thinks
I
he
don't
won't
quite
understand,
yeah.
as per usual.
Procession.
And Jonah has his own ideas about who we should be following, and she's intrigued but kind of dismissive at this point.
But I do love this scene because you see Lara geek out a little bit with her knowledge. It's just fun watching
She's
her
like,
get excited and explain things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just roll this clip, give people an idea of what you guys do in the volume, and then we'll come back and start with the Q&A.
Look at this.
Ocean Hydra, the serpent. This star is the heart. It's set in the southwest.
So southwest from the Amazon River. Brazil.
Peru.
Peru?
This date from the ruins, see, if you look closely, it is damaged. This number looks like a 13, but what if it's really an 8? With precession, it would... Precession. The Earth tilts, so over time, these stars appear in a different place on the horizon. Important if you're navigating by the night sky.
Okay.
In the Mayan calendar, that's a 2,000-year difference. Back then, the heart of the serpent set directly to the west.
So that's why it's in Peru, not Brazil. Trinity has been looking in the wrong place.
Exactly. We need to look for the silver-crowned mountain in Peru. There's more. Something about a key. What is Trinity looking for in the hidden city?
You heard that too, right?
Let's see where he goes.
Wait, hold on. There's a festival outside. Let's try to blend in.
All right, very cool. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you guys do in the volume. You have the suits, so you've got the cameras right in your face. You're acting with some props,
Right.
and a little
Very
bit of
basic,
yes,
yeah,
but
very
it's a lot in the imagination.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get right into the questions. So we have Camilla Luddington online is asking, what do you love most about playing Lara?
What do I love most about? I mean, I definitely love her resilience in the face of all that she has come up against. I think that's admirable, but what I also like about her is that she's not perfect.
Yeah.
She makes mistakes and she's very complicated. And I think that those are the most interesting characters to make, to play.
And Brogan Wilson, following up on that, do you feel like you can relate to Lara in any particular way?
I do. I've always been very open about this. I lost my mother when I was younger, and Lara has no parents, and there's a massive feeling of loss and mourning and et cetera, that is indescribable unless you go through it yourself. So I do feel like I can bring something to the character that's very authentic because I can relate to that kind of background.
So Earl, Piper Cameron is asking, how has Jonah evolved over the past 3 games? Is he still the same guy from TR 2013? Has he gone through a similar character evolution as Lara?
I think he's gone through definitely a character evolution. I mean, once you see what he's seen at Yamatai, and then again in Rise of the Tomb Raider, I mean, he almost dies. So I mean, I feel like, you know, there's going to be a reframing of how you look at things, and I think that's where Jonah is. I think right now everything is more precious to him. Like, time is more precious to him. He's a little more thoughtful in his actions, so maybe a little more cautious.
The second part of the question is what makes him stick by her even though he's constantly risking his life?
I personally want to know that.
Right?
Why are you friends with Lara Croft? I wouldn't travel with Lara anywhere. Not by boat, not by plane. I mean,
No vehicles.
every time you
Full
think it's
ball-
going to be fine,
like,
and
yeah.
it's not.
Full body armor, like stage 3. Well, I think what it is that because Jonah has gone through loss as well, like his brother and stuff, that he has a strong instinct to protect. And I think he's imprinted on Lara that like this, you know, despite the fact that she's more capable than I still need to make that effort.
Yeah. I think there's an element probably of projecting there too, like with your
Right.
brother, you know, wanting to do what he felt like he couldn't do in the past.
Exactly.
And
I think there's a lot of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can pronounce his name right. Aigo Chung Ha asks, to Camilla, can you compare the different voice directing throughout the 3 games? So they're wondering about the transition from a naive girl to a hardened survivor.
Yeah.
And did you do anything to try to make the voices distinct or the evolution distinct in your actual performance?
Strangely enough, I think in the first game my voice was slightly higher.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. On purpose. She was like a young girl out of college and
Yeah.
And hi Jill, our writers outside of the game. And then my voice is naturally a little bit lower and has like, it can get a little raspy. So I sort of like have lent into that as the games have gone on because she's maturing and she has some edge to her and I think it's more fitting.
Great. So Casey asks, how difficult is it to shoot when there's no props and you just have to get creative?
We're so used to it by now.
Yeah.
Isn't that
No,
weird?
I think so. I think it's just something that I, as an actor, have grown used to. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's. I can remember though, in TR 2013, when there were moments where like we were supposed to look at the endurance, and it was like, okay, there's a giant ship there. All right, there's a giant ship there.
Yeah.
But it was kind of hard to visualize. At this point, it's like,
Yeah, I think we've gotten really good.
Yeah.
And these games take years to make.
right.
This game itself took almost 2 years, so we've gotten very good at using our imagination. And in the first game, I had to be able to sort of learn how to load a gun, which was something that was new
remember
to
that.
me.
Yeah.
And just be able to handle it in a way that didn't look like I didn't know what I was doing. But I think that I think now we're sort of stuck in, and so
Right.
if that was to happen again, maybe we need a refresher. But like we're pretty good now at this.
Was this the first mocap experience for both of you, or had you done the motion capture and
We've done
voice
motion
together?
capture for all 3 games.
Yes.
Yeah, but for the first game, was that like the first time when you did
I
the
had
first
never
game?
done motion
Yeah,
capture
those-
before.
So-
had you?
No,
I'd
that's
never
the
done a
first time.
video game before. Had you?
I voiced a video game before that.
Oh yeah, I had.
So it was a whole new experience. But yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
course over 3 years, you guys got it down.
yeah.
All right.
It's a process. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So we have another question for Earl. Did you do any of the extreme voice acting, like the grunting and screaming and so on, like poor Camilla's had to do so much in the last 3 games? Is there any of that from you now that you're doing the same thing?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, like over the course of the adventure, a lot of things can happen. But I actually had to do a lot of that for TR 2013 because if you remember, there was a multiplayer aspect. to it.
Yes. Okay.
So
yeah.
I had to do all like death effort noises. So it was like, all right, now die. All right, die longer. All right, die like more energetically and
Yeah.
then like fizzle out. So it's
Yeah.
a bunch of like different things, or like get hit harder,
Yeah.
get hit really hard.
I mean,
So
they've already released that the beginning of the game when we're in the airplane, and just that even that
Right.
those are efforts in itself to like
Yeah.
for him to like be pushed up against something or fall
Right.
off something or maybe grab something, So you're definitely in it with me.
Definitely, and that was actually in the booth for me. That was ADR for me.
Oh yeah, a lot of that was ADR too. I'm thinking the majority of the scene, the dialogue scene that we did in
The dialogue
mocap.
was like-
But you're right, but everything else was in the booth.
So do you practice? Is a death sound something that you have to practice at home, or you just go with it? You just feel it
I
in
think
your
I
gut
know
at
at
the
this
moment.
point what it
Yeah.
sounds like when Lara
But the
dies.
first time you had to like die, was it something you practiced at home, or is it like you just go with it in the moment and whatever sound comes out? I'm trying to imagine you at home just practicing death noises.
I think that you go with it, and then when you get played things back, you're like,
Then you know
it
you
needs
get the
to sound-
feedback and you can
like
tweak it.
I would
Okay.
be like, it sounds a little bit too girly. So
Yeah.
like toughen it out a little bit.
Yes. Okay, let's see. This could be for both of you. So Piper Cameron asked, how much of your own personality do you portray into the character? You talked a little bit about that with your voice. But so like Earl, for Jonah, is there something very specific to you that comes out in Jonah?
Kind of my process when I was, approaching Jonah the first time was I wanted to find some kind of commonality that I could latch onto and let the character spring from. So I kind of latched onto the fact that he has that instinct to protect.
Yeah.
Like him being an older brother, or like feeling like an older brother to the rest of the crew of the Endurance. I latched onto that.
Yeah.
And because I too am an older brother, like I take care of, I run my improv troupe, things like that. So I latched onto that, and I kind of let that become the emotional core of the character.
I also think for you though, what I've seen in this game that our director for this game has allowed us to do is he's allowed us to have an element of freedom and trust.
Right,
And so
definitely.
you've been able to improvise really funny moments.
Wonderful.
that have made it to the game that we weren't able to do in
Right.
previous games.
Yeah.
So there's some of like your natural sense of humor in Jonah this game.
Yes, and obviously we can't talk to any of those points or spoil anything, but there
No.
are some absolute moments of levity and comedy in the game, and I just love it
Yeah.
because you feel the friendship between you two. You
definitely
feel
do.
the level of comfort, and
Yeah.
it's really cool to hear that some of that was improv. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those scenes. Actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed them too because you made them so awkward sometimes.
Right.
It's just
It was just like the
100%
jokes,
Earl.
just you know.
Just throw them out there, see what's
He would want to make jokes just linger in an awkward way. It was great.
Because there was like this little space before a cut, like when the scene
Yeah.
ended, and then before the cut, I was like,
Yeah, you don't know what he's gonna say.
no,
this one.
no.
Right. So Piper Cameron also asks, Camilla, do you have to mentally prepare yourself before you start shooting for each game, especially in Shadow, because it's so much darker?
It's very dark. It's very intense. Luckily, there's a break of a couple years between each game, so I feel like there's a moment of recovery, and then I always know they're going to throw me back into the trenches again, and it's going to be emotionally and physically torturing. I don't necessarily mentally prepare, but I get very exhausted. Like our drives home after doing motion capture, I don't think people understand how exhausting it is. I mean, it's completely draining. There are scenes that I have had to do that are, you know, I go home and I just want, you know, it's a glass of wine. I just need to, like, you know, like sit outside and just be by
Decompress.
myself for a
Yeah.
second. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's intense.
And the schedule, like with a motion capture shoot, is like you go like the whole
Yeah,
8 hours.
Yeah, if you're in a TV show, you get moments where you're not in a scene or something like that. But we're pretty much in everything, so we don't get a break, and it is exhausting. There's not necessarily prep that I do, but beforehand, we always sit down with the director, and we get told the entire story of the game,
Right.
so that we can start sort of processing how did the last game end, and what happened in the meantime.
Yeah,
So where's
okay.
she at now? Where's he at now?
Okay, great. Camilla L. News asks, how do you describe Lara and Jonah's friendship? It's a very unique friendship, so that can come from either of you two.
I mean, I think for Lara, she doesn't have family other than Jonah. So I think Jonah is a lot of things to her. I think he's a best friend. I think he's a brother. I think he's a father figure in a way. He's maybe the only person that she feels like she can be honest with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's campfire scenes between us, and I don't think she'd
Right.
ever speak that intimately with somebody else.
It's very true. I think that Lara for Jonah fulfills that same kind of void. I don't think there's, as far as I know, Jonah doesn't really have any other living relatives. And again, like he has that instinct to protect, and he projects like all the places he feels like he failed onto Lara.
Okay.
So, but also
It's a complicated relationship, but
Yeah.
it's genuine and deep.
Yeah.
And
oh,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
great. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll switch to the survival would you
Okay.
rather. So
Got it.
let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Brogan asks for both. What's your biggest or like your best memory of working on the game in the volume or anywhere? It could be with fans, it could be anywhere. Just your best memory so far working on the franchise.
I think there was a scene in the first game where we were all on a boat
Right.
that was rocking, and they'd made this like kind of like boat platform for us, and
They
there were
did.
so many of us. There was Reyes and Sam, and
Yeah.
there were so many of us characters on that boat, and it was just funny. I mean,
It
it was like we were all being thrown in together. A lot of us hadn't done motion capture
Yeah.
before, and there was a camaraderie there that was permanent. It felt like, you know.
I remember that because they built this big old rig
Yeah.
for the volume, and they
Yeah.
actually had people like towing it along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I was like, what are we doing right now? How is this going to
Imagination.
Yeah, I didn't understand how it would like translate to a game at that point.
Yeah. Me
So it
neither.
just amazed me, yeah.
I don't even think that scene made it into the first game.
Maybe. Interesting.
It was, I mean, there was, towards the end, there was a boat that several of you were on, but maybe it
There was that
didn't. Maybe it didn't.
This was a different one.
No, this is Yamatai, the boat to Yamatai, no?
No, I think there was a firefight, and then you
Oh,
were
yes,
out of
Yes.
the turret.
Okay, yes, the
yes.
turret scene was removed.
You have a much
Yes.
better memory.
That was
See,
removed.
I blocked out all of the
2013.
I blocked out the games just to survive
Okay.
the process.
All right. Well, you might have to block out some of these questions.
Okay,
before I ask
come
them.
on, bring it.
Okay, so survival would you rather? So this is basically giving two terrible situations and finding
Got
out
it.
what one you would rather do. Keep in
Wow,
mind, all of these you're going to survive. None of these can kill you, right?
no,
So
Okay.
it's more about like discussing
Enduring it.
fears and like understanding the perspectives. So you can elaborate if you want. So first one, would you rather have a botfly larva in your arm, so they bite you and they like
Yeah,
burrow in your
very,
skin,
yeah.
or be bitten by a bullet ant, which is the most painful bite in the world?
Ooh. I think
I think
I'm
the ant.
firmly going for the bullet ant. Because
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't need something like breeding in my arm.
No, that's the thing. Have you seen videos of like
Yeah, I've
bot
seen-
I
fly?
did in research for this.
Did anyone
yeah.
choose the?
Actually, everybody said botfly in the fan sites.
Really?
Everyone said
They
they're not
said-
even listening to
they
us.
said the
Everyone else
botfly.
said botfly.
There's
Yes.
a thing living inside of you that isn't a
Wow.
child.
I guess it doesn't go too far into your body. It stays topically. It stays in
Yeah.
your skin. But
Feels-
I think I would actually go for the bullet ant too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So would you rather survive a plane crash in the isolated jungle or survive a capsized boat in the middle of the Amazon River?
Boat.
Boat.
Yes, I don't like flying.
No, you don't?
No, I'm not a
No.
fan of. I don't like turbulence.
Turbulence
Yeah,
does
it's
suck.
too. Yeah.
I'm going to go for the crash landing just because I suck at anything that has to do with water.
Okay.
I can't swim. I
Yeah.
can't swim.
You can't swim.
No.
Wait, you're gonna have a whole swimming section if we do another game together. We're gonna put you right in.
Oh
About
my
Captain
gosh.
Water. That'd be
Yeah, I know.
interesting. Most of the fan sites actually said the crash landing because
Really?
there's a lot of things that can kill you anywhere in the Amazon. But
Right.
the water, the caimans, and
Right.
the animals that can be rough.
Anacondas.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, the anacondas that swim. Snakes should not swim
I
through
know.
the river.
Just dropping out of the sky sounds
Yes.
absolutely terrible.
It
Yes,
absolutely does.
without question.
I was thinking about the aftermath of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're navigating to rescue. Would you rather climb a sheer cliff face or go through a claustrophobic underwater tunnel? I think
Climb.
we might know
Climb,
this now that
climb.
you don't like swimming.
Yeah, climb.
Yeah.
Well, climb. My claustrophobia, no,
Yeah, I don't like the.
not for me.
I'm not a heights person. Like
Right.
I almost feel like claustrophobia might be worse than heights for me. But
I'm the same way. I hate height. I don't know why I'm playing Lara Croft. Like I hate planes, I hate heights, I hate climbing.
I get claustrophobic sitting on like a greyhound. So
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
no underwater
it's
underwater
not.
Yeah,
tunnels for you guys.
No. Okay.
Okay, if you're sleeping in a sleeping bag in the jungle, would you rather find a tarantula or a snake in your sleeping bag?
A snake.
Snake.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's almost what everybody said too.
Yeah.
Snakes aren't so
Snake.
bad.
No. It depends on what kind of snake.
I mean, I would
Again,
rather
you're not going to
find
die,
anything.
so like
Right,
it's not
okay.
going to be. It could, yeah. An anaconda might not fit in your bag. They'd
No,
like
no.
it'd wrap around your bag,
Like a black mamba.
give you a
Yeah.
hug good night. Okay. Okay. So how about this? Would you rather sleep in a pitch black, unexplored cave, or high in the treetops, but you don't really have any protection, right? Like you don't have anything to hook yourself on there. So like, which would you rather do? You don't know what's in the darkness, or you got the heights and the treetops.
I would probably feel safer in the treetops.
I think practically, I would have to say the cave because I move a lot when I sleep.
Okay. Yes.
So you just roll right off
Yeah, I
the
would
tree.
just, if I was secured, I would totally.
I feel like they're giving you. I think you're giving them so many ideas of ways to kill you in the future.
I know.
I
Earl
just had
can't
to.
swim.
I just had to
He
Google search
moves
like
around.
things that can kill you in the Amazon, and these
Right.
lists of like hundreds of
Oh
things
my God, I
came
can't
up.
imagine.
I know it's
can't imagine.
incredible.
That sounds terrible.
Okay, would you rather be shocked by an electric eel or bitten by a piranha?
Bitten by a piranha.
I agree. Bitten by a piranha.
Yeah.
In doing this, I found out that the piranha bites actually aren't too terrible.
Yeah,
And they very rarely
a
attract
nibble.
humans.
It's
Yeah, it's
more
more
like
of like a nibble. They do have sharp teeth. They also have that fish in the Amazon that has like human teeth.
Wait,
Oh, I know what you're
excuse
talking
you?
about. It's a
Yes,
like a
I'll show you a
sheep's
photo afterwards.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's
It's like it looks like it'll smile at you, and his dentist will be proud of its work. It's
Wow.
incisors.
It's
Veneers.
bizarre. It's bizarre. Okay, again, you're not going to die, but would
Okay.
you rather get stuck in quicksand and wait in quicksand for rescue, or in a cenote? So the water caves.
What was the first one?
A quicksand.
Cenote.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go quicksand because.
Cenotes are quite beautiful.
They
Yeah.
are, definitely. They're
you have a
incredibly
better
hard to get
view.
out of.
Oh, that's right. You won't die. So I'm gonna.
No
say
dying.
cenote. Yeah,
There's
no.
no dying.
Cenote.
With the quicksand, like things could land on your
Right.
head, or like bugs could crawl across you.
Also, I feel like that's a claustrophobia.
Yeah, I'd agree too.
Right.
I'd agree with that. All right. Will be interesting. You guys listening, you can tweet us some of your answers too. I'd be interested in hearing them.
Yeah, I want to know. You
know.
can tweet me too. I'm interested.
Yeah.
interested.
Okay, would you rather have sunscreen or mosquito repellent if you could only have one thing?
I'm
Mosquito repellent.
same here. Like I have natural sunscreen, so you know.
I feel like you could probably find shade, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of nasty things mosquitoes
yeah.
can do.
DEET.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
DEET.
This one killed me. I could not believe their answers.
God.
Would you rather go 4 days without food or 4 months without civilization? So in the middle of the Amazon, 4 days without food or 4 months without civilization.
I don't know. I get pretty hangry.
Okay,
I think I'd go 4 days without food.
I would too. Almost everyone else said 4 months without seeing a single person.
They're over it, dude.
It's like,
they don't
I mean,
want
that
to see anybody.
along with that, that means you're living in the Amazon for 4 months. There's a whole bunch of other uncomfortable things there, right?
I think I could, 4 months. I mean, 4 days without food, that's hard, but
Yeah.
It would be hard, but
you
I
have
think
access
more
to water.
doable.
yeah, you have water,
Yeah.
all of that sort of stuff. Okay.
4
All right,
months without
interesting.
another living soul.
Wow.
A lot of those people, a lot of the people I asked were like, I don't like people. I like being alone. It's like, this is a different kind of alone.
Yeah,
It's not.
I get that, but like, I'm like, after 2 weeks, I'm like, I need to get out.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. Would you rather be stuck in torrential rain or extreme heat?
Torrential
Rain.
rain.
Rain. All right. At least you get the water. That seems
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
practical.
You can regulate that somewhat.
Okay. Would you rather eat a juicy agave worm? So those are the big ones. They're
Yeah, the
huge.
chunky ones.
Or a roasted tarantula for sustenance.
Is the worm still alive?
Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay, it's dead then.
It's a dead one, but like I feel like if you bite into the worm, it like oozes and pops.
Every time I think of like,
and there's like maybe a crispy element to the
The tarantula. So no, roasted tarantulas. I've seen them in like Venezuela. I
Right.
think like some people eat them, and roasted. I feel like it's more probably like a cracker than a
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'd have to go for tarantula.
than a
I'm
gusher.
gonna agree, because
Okay.
like every
It's
time
the
I think
pop
of,
of
like,
the ooze.
it's a
that
Yeah.
I
pop.
can't.
I'm not
Like
gonna
that
do that.
Scene in Lion King where like they're eating grubs. I always think of that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I would agree. I hate spiders, but if it's roasted, if I can kind of not tell what it is anymore, I would
Exactly.
eat the tarantula.
Yeah.
It's all about texture.
Okay, this one I wasn't sure if we should include it because it's a little weird, but.
Okay, go. I
I'm
like
down. I like
weird.
weird.
Would
Yeah,
you
I
rather
like weird.
get lost in the jungle, right? So this is getting lost in the Amazon is a terrible experience, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather get lost in the jungle with your best friend or your worst enemy? So if you choose your best friend, you're condemning them to suffer with you,
Right.
Yeah.
but you're not alone with like someone you hate. And if you're with your worst enemy, at least your best friend is spared.
It's just
I
hard
think.
because like if you're with your worst
Yeah.
enemy, you could kill them for food.
Exactly.
Wow, I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could kill
Yeah.
them for food. Yeah.
They're useful as like calories.
Yeah,
storage
like if
calories.
there's a lion or something, you don't have to be brave. You could just, you know,
You have to be
Right.
faster
use
than
them as a human
Yeah.
shield.
Okay, so worst enemy.
I say enemy.
All right.
Yeah.
How about you, enemy?
I think there's strategy behind enemy.
There is definitely more strategy behind enemy.
Yeah.
And you can turn them into maybe a friend.
I feel like something like that might bring you closer together if you have absolutely no choice but to interact,
Maybe.
to like stay together and
yeah, but
survive.
there's no loyalty there, so it's not like, no, you
Okay.
have the last piece of bread.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
no, I'm having it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So would you rather lose a digit, so finger or toes, to frostbite or have blisters all over your body from a sunburn?
Permanent blisters?
Well, no, they go away eventually, right?
Blisters.
Blisters.
Yeah.
Because like the frostbite is
That's
permanent.
horrible.
Everybody else said a finger.
Why?
We're not vibing with the fan sites, are we?
I know, I told you, a lot of their answers I was completely surprised with. But yeah, they said I mean, like, burns suck. Burns are pretty rough.
Yeah.
So, but it eventually
But
it would
it
heal.
fades.
I mean, maybe the pinky toe. Like, would you miss that?
I don't know. Maybe the pinky toe.
Okay.
Right, right.
We get to pick one.
I know. If it's
In
like
this
one
scenario,
of these,
you get to-
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
My middle toe, I don't like that one.
Okay, would you rather
Wow.
wade across a river and again emerge with one piranha bite or covered in 10 leeches?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Now leeches can be quite good for you.
Right, if you have
There
like
we go.
circulation problems. Yeah. I would say,
I still think piranha bite.
yeah, I feel like that's less
I
like
feel like removing a leech is
gross.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just the idea of it.
It's the sliminess.
Yeah.
Okay,
also
last
good.
one.
Okay.
So you can use clothing and like cotton things for filtering water. So would you
Right.
rather filter your water through your socks or an undergarment?
I could use a bra.
Okay. Yeah, that actually might lend itself
I know
well
they're
to
saying
it.
underwear, but
Right.
Yeah. It's an undergarment, right?
undergarment.
I just don't think I could filter water through socks.
No.
I don't think socks. No.
I've seen it on one of those survival shows, and it was just like,
Really?
yeah,
No, yeah, I don't
he
think-
ran it along like dewy plants and collected it and rang it into his mouth, and I was just like, I never want to get lost.
No,
in the forest.
I feel like if
No, yeah, undergarment.
you could like cut away all the offending parts in an undergarment.
Yes, there you go.
but like the sock, the entire
Yeah,
thing's
you got to
just
really
soiled.
think
You
about
know,
this.
yeah.
Think this through. Definitely on the sock.
We got through all of them. We
We did.
We have just run out of time, so I got to wrap up quickly. But thank you guys. You're awesome
Thank
sports.
you.
Thank you for playing. We are actually heading over to E3 Live shortly, so we're going to do a big panel there about performance and voice acting and all of that. So at 3:30, we'll be back on with Camilla and Earl and more of the IDOS Montreal staff. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.